our next guest, Drew Watson. Drew, boy, you've had a track record there at Florida Southern. It's been unbelievable. And, architect of a lot of changes, but maintaining the reputation that Florida Southern has come to, everybody knows about. It's just phenomenal sports program. You've just got a lot on your plate right now. It's just incredible. It's sort of winding things down, I know, but what's happening right now?
Well, we've got a couple things going on. We've got eight of our spring sports are ranked nationally. 5 of them in the top 10. We've got men's and women's track are 4 and 5. Men's and women's tennis are 3 and 4. Baseball is number 8. Got golf at 11 and 15, and softball is sitting at 17. So, we're in the thick of the spring season. We're winding down the Sun Conference season, looking forward to playoffs. So it's an exciting time.
No, and your season your job doesn't stop there, because then you get into recruiting, you do all that type of stuff as well. That's pretty much ongoing, but summer season a little bit more possibly.
A little bit. Summer, I joke that summer used to be a lot more relaxing when we weren't good. Because playoffs go into May. When our sports weren't doing well, summer was a lot more relaxing. When we didn't have football, it was a lot more relaxing. But the hours are a little bit better. But summer starts late for us because of we're playing almost into June in some of the sports. So it's exciting.
Well, Southeastern's a rocking place,
and you've got some other things going on as well. So tell us about the changes at Victory Field.
Well, Victory Field's getting a new turf. This will be our 12th season of football coming up here, and it's nice when a contractor promises you that you'll get a certain amount of years out of a product, and you get those years and a little bit more. So, really exciting right now. If you went over to campus, the football field has no turf on it. It's just gravel. They're doing some grading of it today, and then the turf starts going down on Wednesday.
Oh, that goes quickly, but that's going to be a big deal. I remember being out on the field several times and just walking around. That is so well done. That whole complex is well done.
Yeah, we like to say if we're going to do something, we're going to do it. We're going to try and do it right. Sometimes the budget gets in the way of that, but we're very proud of our football stadium.
One thing that you guys do well, especially in the spring, is win and be competitive. How tough is it to stay competitive in the Sun Conference? Because you've got a lot of teams. Just in baseball, 4 teams in the top 50 are all right within your conference.
Yeah, when you look across the Sun Conference, baseball is the toughest conference in the country. Tennis and golf are at a very high level in our conference. Mm-hmm. And softball really is getting there. So for me, it's how do you stay competitive? You hire the right people, and to have the resources that we're given by our administration, it's a great thing. But if you have people managing those resources that aren't very good at that, you will peak and valley. So you'll have a good team a few years, and then it falls off, and then But our spring sports are consistently it's our strongest season.
Well, and especially baseball, right? So you've had a change in baseball, and you've continued to be just as strong.
Yeah, the team made a coaching change at the end of last season. Team started 20-0 this year, and Coach Grinder's done a great job, replenishing that roster. We only have 7 guys back from last year's team, but he's done a great job of getting us there. And as I said, we're 8th, and trying to close it out. We have Kaiser this weekend, and hopefully we will host an opening round on our field for the first time in program history.
Transfer portal, part of the problem with losing good people. Tell us about that.
Well, I think, the NAIA, which we're proud members of the NAIA, is starting a new campaign called The Right Way to Play. And really that's focused on how NAIA sports are lined up. And we are affected by the transfer portal, but we don't have a transfer portal. We're affected by NIL, but we don't have NIL necessarily. I think NIL in our department a couple years ago was like $405. We tracked it. All right, so you see these $1 million contracts. It's just not. It doesn't hit NAIA like it does other levels. And so we like to think of the NAIA as college sports the way it should be and the way it used to be.
Yeah.
And so the transfer portal has affected us because it's a transfer portal mentality. So we get kids come in, they play a year, and they're like, I want to look for another place to play. It happens. Our goal is just to try and give them the best possible experience while they're here, and hopefully those good student athletes stay.
But you have also benefited from folks coming in and finding the culture at Southeastern being more to their liking. So I mean, especially women's basketball.
Yeah.
You've had some great success stories.
Yeah, I think it kind of started with women's basketball and baseball, and has spread to a number of the other sports where Division I student athletes who didn't love their experience there are looking at Southeastern as a viable option. They've really helped us out, and in the process, there's some really great stories that have come out of those experiences that they've had.
Let's talk a little bit about Southeastern's overall mission and the recruiting process and so on. I mean, you have such a good reputation as being a wholesome, Christ-centered school, and you haven't wavered from that. You personally or the school itself. Is that an asset or a hindrance?
It's an asset for us. I mean, we have it's a lot harder to recruit to a school like ours, but as I said, we have the right people who are looking for the right student athletes. But it doesn't stop at the athletes, it's the coaches as well. We have a football program, we've got a full staff, and whenever we have an opening, it's more of a challenge to find a coach that fits Southeastern, but there's many people out there that do. And so we look at it as an advantage, because and it's not like we are closed-minded and we're just taking your kids who are in church every Sunday and making good decisions. We're taking a lot of different kids who and that's kind of a different approach than the old Southeastern. Back in the day, Southeastern was it was very different than it is now. It was before 3 you couldn't wear shorts, and you couldn't have your hair a certain way, and it's not that at all anymore.
Yeah.
And I think the way that we view it now for those kids who aren't religious, who aren't Christ followers, it's a mission field. So we bring those kids in, and if they're willing to buy into who we are, we invest in them, and they invest in us, and it's as I said, it turns out to be some really really cool stories that come out of that.
And a growing campus. I mean, you guys continue to pack as much as possible into that campus. Any plans for athletic expansion, new sports?
Well, we've got something going on right now. The reason that this will be potentially the first time we host the baseball tournament, the NAI, is because our field was not regulation in center field.
What are the dates of that, by the way?
That is May 11th through 15th.
Okay.
Coming up.
And people can just show up or go online, get tickets?
Yep, people can just show up. But in order to host, we had to blow out center field and increase the distance. So that's going on right now. The team plays at home this weekend, but then we're leaving. We're going to be off the field for the next 2.5 weeks as they finish that project. So really exciting.
Were you able to keep the monster?
Yeah, the monster's still there.
All right.
Yep. The left field wall.
Yeah, yep.
Okay, well, I was going to ask some clarifications there. It was sort of like the Fenway Field.
Sort of like Fenway's, yep.
Yeah, left center, when we built the football stadium, we had to move left center in, and so the fence is very high. 32 feet.
Well, that's fantastic. Exciting things going on at Southeastern. That's what a school and a program that you've developed there. And content of students' character is as important as the results that everybody hopes for. But the bottom line is the character of the athletes and the way they approach the sports, life in general, and academics. And the academics are still strong. In fact, still last night at the Silver Garlands, we had one of your professors, Dennis Ross, Congressman Ross, did a welcome and sort of an inspirational speech. What a guy. I mean, just always enjoy seeing him, so positive, and he was in and out pretty quickly because his wife had him at a function at Polk State. So they had some opening or whatnot. But yeah, great staff, great academics, and thank you so much for joining us.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
Oh, you bet.